Today I am going to teach my girlfriend Izzy here how to make some music. She is a talented musician but has never really made music before, so I thought why not just put the camera up so you can learn too. I wouldn't really call this a 101. It's just kind of like a general workflow, like what to expect, what it's going to be like. We can do a 101 at another point. So we're eventually going to get her like a little MIDI keyboard with some drum pads on it so she can like make music on her own time. But I'm just going to show her like a limited version of what I do here so it translates to what she'll be able to do. So join us. Say hi.
Hi. Did you want your fan on while you said all that?
No, I was just going to let the fan circulate for a minute, but now it's good.
So did you want to re-say that?
Oh, no, I didn't mind the fan being on
okay.
for that. This lav should be fine. Okay, so here, we can move this out of the way. We might not need this for a little.
Okay.
So I'm going to teach you, does it look good?
Yeah.
It's in log. I'm going to teach you in Logic, since that's what I have downloaded right now, but I'm only going to use the features that GarageBand also uses. It looks the exact same, it just has less stuff.
Okay.
And you don't need all the stuff Logic has. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to open Logic. Oops. What? Okay, we'll quit.
I just looked at my shoulder weird last night, I think.
I'm sorry to hear that, little babe. So you open, the same thing will happen with Garage. I guess I don't need to show them, like, this records it.
Should you screen record?
I am.
Oh, okay.
That's what this app is. It's OBS.
Oh, okay.
That's why I put it on the top screen. It's only recording this bottom screen. So when you open it, you just do an empty project. You can create a template eventually. When it opens, you can pick, you'll really only need these, like MIDI or audio, right? Mm-hmm. MIDI means musical interface, musical instrument digital interface. So it's like this keyboard, you can run a line, like a cable out of it, into something like this, and then the sounds from the keyboard play, and that records. That's when I would click audio. If you're using MIDI, which that's what we'll be getting you, MIDI is basically a controller. It's like a remote control for a TV. It doesn't have anything in it, it just sends commands to the TV. So this is right now, this can do both. Right now this is plugged in with a USB cable so that it's just, it looks like a keyboard, but it's really a controller. So the actual thing making the sounds is in the computer. This is just sending it signal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we're going to get you a little keyboard.
What's audio for, though? If I was going to use the mic?
Audio means the actual source of the sound is coming from the outside of the computer.
Oh, like...
MIDI means you're using a controller to control a sound generated in the computer. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So like a microphone, I'm the sound source. So then I run it into here. Mm-hmm. If this keyboard has sounds built into it, like a lot do, same thing. All it's doing is recording what you're doing. This is a little, so you'll understand as you do it more. So today we're going to choose software instrument, and then it'll just empty, right? Mm-hmm. Software instrument, and then these are all the different instruments. You don't need to mess with that. Empty, stereo, create. So in Logic Pro and all the other DAWs, called a DAW, Digital Audio Workstation. It's just software for recording music and sound. This is time, right? Mm-hmm. And you can see like right here, it shows you time. But then it also shows you beats. And you can turn that on or off, but you'll want it on, right? Mm-hmm. And when you hit play, it just automatically does it. And you can change the tempo right here. So that's the simplest thing, is just picking your tempo. Maybe you have like a vibe you want, like da-na-na-na-na.
That's technically BPM?
Yeah, BPM.
Okay, cool.
Beats per minute. Right. That's what tempo, that's the standard of tempo is beats per minute.
Okay.
Like what we refer to tempo with is beats per minute. So if you have like a melody in your head and you're like dun 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 dun, whatever it would be, dun dun dun. Now you would dun 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 and kind of find it. Again, I'm just doing this in the way that I think she'll want to work. There are plenty of different ways of deciding your tempo, and like some DAWs have a thing where it will listen and then you tap and then it starts to match it. We can mess with stuff like that later, but right now you just pull the slider up until you get the speed you want, you know? So, I don't know. So we have this software instrument here, right? If I want to create another instrument, like another layer, I could do it again. Now I have two instruments going on. Maybe now I want to sing with it. Let's do audio this time. Mic or line. Line means an external thing making a sound, like the keyboard or a guitar, something like that. So let's just say you want a mic. So now we can double click and rename, like, you know, Izzy's voice. Now, the input just is where is it coming from? So let's delete it again and do it again, right? Okay, let's just say you recorded 2 sounds and I want to sing over it. Plus, microline, now you choose where it's coming in. Well, it's going to come in from number 1. That's this right here, number 1, right? Simple as that. Now you do test, test, test. Ooh, that's really quiet. Test, test, test. That comes in at a better volume. I don't know if it's actually coming in at a better volume for the recording, but we'll go put it back to there for now. Now you can rename it Izzy's voice, right? So now we have 3 tracks ready to go. Instrument 1, instrument 2, and Izzy's voice. But there's nothing on the instrument, right? Over on the left-hand side here, we have like these little menu tabs. On the right-hand side, we have little menu tabs. For today, you don't really need anything on the right-hand side, got it? What you need is, this is your transport window that has information, right? Like tempo, we're in 4/4, right? We have our time, so if you're like, okay, actual time, 15 seconds, right? Like a video editing software. On the left-hand side here, this is our presets. See how you can like, oh, I want to find a keyboard, blah, 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 right? Those are just all for presets. This one here is for the actual what's going on with this instrument, right? It's the channel strip. And I'll show you about that later. Question mark, you don't need that. That's just help button, which maybe you will, who knows. And then this one here, you won't need that. This is for quick edits. This one here, this little box controls the bottom, and these are quick settings you can change. There's not going to be anything because we haven't picked an instrument yet. This one is your mixer, where you can see all the, remember when I opened this, it's what's going on with that instrument, right? This is what's going on with all the instruments. So if you have 20, they'll all show up. Whereas this on the side only tells you what's going on with your instrument, and then the master, which is everybody glued together, right? So, and then this pencil right here is an edit window, and we'll learn about that later, okay? So this is what it looks like with nothing clicked on. It's just time on the timeline. Like you're used to that in like Premiere or something, right? So if I want my first instrument to make a sound, this is a MIDI instrument, right? Software instrument. So this is plugged in. Oh, I have to actually turn this on. The one we get you plug it in and it automatically turns on. Mine needs to turn on, just somewhere. So I'm gonna hit don't use because it's asking, is this a speaker? No, it's not a speaker. It could be, if this had a speaker on it, I really wanted to use it as a speaker, sure. But look, it's seeing my notes. So this is a controller, like a remote control of a TV, right? So it's saying, oh, I know you're playing a C. Oh, I know you're playing a D. Because it's set to feel the most like a piano it can, but it's really just a controller. So unless I put it into audio mode, which is where it makes the sounds, because mine can do that. The one we're getting you won't. Okay? But this was like $800.
Yeah.
So, but I use it for MIDI most of the time because MIDI is great. So it's getting our signal. We're happy with that. Now we're going to open our little what's going on window, right? Our little track window. Now I want an instrument. EQ is a quick effect. MIDI effect, you won't really need to use much. Instrument. Okay, here we go. You click on it and there's a drop-down menu where all your instruments live, right? And these are your recents up here above this line.
Okay.
These are all the instruments that are built into the software, right? Down this line. This is just a different thing, a drum machine thing. And then down here are all the instruments that I've bought from like a website or something. So today we'll just use ones that are already in Logic. So, you know, because, so remember we go open this, we're clicked on instrument 1, we go to instrument, and let's choose a synthesizer, right?
Sure.
And actually, to make it easier, let's choose a keyboard, vintage keys. Let's do a vintage electric piano. So you go down to it, stereo. You know what stereo and mono is? Mono means it's one source. This is mono, it's one microphone. Stereo means it's multiple speakers. Some mics are stereo. Keyboards are usually stereo. It plays something a little bit different on the left and the right to give you that vibe. And that's why we listen back in stereo most of the time. So now we've put an instrument on that channel. So everything I've just shown you is, you could do that in 10 seconds once you're up and running, but I just had to explain it. So now we got a simple keyboard. And when it opens, that's the actual instrument that popped open. See now, remember where that little button said instrument, it was gray? Now there's an instrument there called E-piano, electric piano. When you click on it, you get it's as if these knobs are like these, right? It pretends you're using a real instrument. It's a software instrument. So if I want more volume, there's my volume for the instrument. If I want to add drive, every instrument's going to have different settings, right? More distortion. So,
Sounds like a guitar.
so yeah. So what I won't teach you today is those specifics. Like, eventually you'll learn which instruments you like better, and you'll start to use those more often or something. But we'll just leave this how it is. Take the gain down. So now we've got this. If you want to add an effect that's not, so like this, the actual instrument panel is like the knobs on your keyboard. Oops, I'm kind of. Down here under your instrument is audio effects. This is a little chain you can make. It's almost like, you guys can't see, but there's like a pedal board down here. It's almost like just adding pedals to your keyboard, like adding effects that aren't from the keyboard. So this is useful when it comes to voice, right? So if I want to add a reverb, I go down to audio effects, and it's a very similar panel. Recents, here's the ones that Logic provides us, and here's the ones I've bought with these little gray lines. So let's use one from Logic, right? So audio effects, let's go down to reverb, and here they have a lot of good ones in here. So let's just use their chroma verb. Do I want it in I want it in stereo? Now, and this,
I like the colors.
yeah, they make a lot of good ones. So now, look, it popped up. It's the same as the instrument, right? I can open my instrument tab, so I can change things about my instrument, or I can open my effect tab and open things, you know, and you can open and close as much as you want. So now I could have them both open and just like start building my sound, right? Maybe I want. So I'm just and each thing is going to have its own settings that you learn. These are called plugins. So the way the way it works is like the computer is opening this software instrument. Then it's sending information through USB so that whatever you do with this controller is controlling this software instrument. That way you could buy one keyboard and then a bunch of software instruments and have 1,000 keyboards instead of This is an old keyboard that can't do that with USB. This has sounds in it, and it can only send what it can do to the computer, like a microphone with your voice. That make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So this is what you'll mostly be doing, is now we've got our instrument, right? So let's take our little cursor. So this is your each instrument's line, right? Just like in Premiere, like with a video. This is the cursor time that you can do, and up here is your loop bar, if you want to loop something, you know.
Okay.
So like,
Can you show me?
yeah. So let's go to instrument 1. We're gonna rename it by double clicking keyboard 1 for us, right? Right here on each instrument, you can mute, you can solo, so you're only listening to that thing if you have a bunch playing. You can record enable, which I'll show you later. That means whatever's record enabled is going to record when you hit record. So if I'm like, I want to play my piano and sing at the same time, I hit keyboard and Izzy's voice. This is connected to input 1, right? If I'm like, I just want to do a natural performance where I do them together, these are both record enabled, and then you hit record and they both start rolling. Watch. Then you stop it, and now we just record them at the same time.
Okay, now let's say you wanted to loop that. How would you loop it?
Okay, so now so this is our cursor line. This is our loop line. It also tells you beats. Beat 1, beat 3, beat 5, right? Now you just click and drag your little yellow guy, and you can move it around, shorten it. Let's do a better loop. Ready? I'm gonna take off the voice. I'm just gonna do a quick loop with the keyboard only.
Okay.
So here's, if you want to turn the metronome off, there you go.
No, you gotta keep that shit on.
Sometimes.
I do.
This right here that says 1, 2, 3, 4. Check this out. If I go back, this is just, rewind, stop, play. You got it. I'm starting at if I want to go back to the beginning, I'm ready to record, right? If I have 1, 2, 3, 4 on, it's going to give me a few. When you hit record, not when you hit play, it just starts at 1. But when you're ready to record and you have 1, 2, 3, 4 on, it's going to give you a few beats before 1, which you don't necessarily need. You could just turn 1, 2, 3, 4 off, let it start, and then start it 2. And then when you're done, move that back.
Okay.
Cool?
Yeah.
Either way is fine. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 on. Enter sends you back to the beginning too. That's why I was being quick. So now I'm going to record a little loop and we'll screw with that. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me do something more standard. Right? There's a lot of reverb on that. That's why I hang over. So now we just want, these are our bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right?
Like bars in a measure.
Yeah,
Okay.
like a measure. So I don't need this extra space I recorded. So I'm going to actually just pull that back here. Right? I'm done with that. Now, did you notice that it didn't start? What was that? Well, it's because I started playing before 0 or before 1, and it just didn't record it. But what you can do, thanks to MIDI, is like if I had just plugged in my microphone or like a keyboard or a guitar, once you've recorded it, you've recorded it. It's, you have to delete and redo it if you didn't like it.
Yeah.
With MIDI, it's a little more powerful, right? So check this out. See how you can see the little bars?
Sorry, you're just really handsome.
See how you can see the little bars here? If I double click, look what it opened. This, remember the edit window I showed you?
Oh, yeah.
So this is what you'll use a lot, is after you record something, you click on it, then you can open the edit window or just double click on it. And here are all your notes you just played. The first note was this. Here it is.
Okay, cool.
So if you're like, my piano playing was kind of shit, You can highlight everything. Oop. And you can do something called quantize, which means snapping it to the beat, which takes a little bit of the human touch away, which you're going to want sometimes. But sometimes you don't, like for EDM or something. You hit the little Q. You can choose, usually 16th note, just leave it there. This is what you quantize it to. That's not important right now. You highlight everything, hit quantize, Q. Now it's snap, see how everything starts perfectly on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
Yeah.
This now starts right at 0. So now it's going to play. Now if I just want to listen back to that, I can use this guy up here, right? And just, now I can just like jam for a second. I'm like, all right, I'm going to write something over this. Just let it loop. Hey, hey, hey. You can just do your thing. Like you're writing your little, whatever you can do, practice. If you actually want it to loop in the real song, here, oh, by the way, if you want to turn this on and off, you can click it, drag it, move it, you know. You get the hand, you can pull it like this. But you can also just toggle it on and off with that. Or the C button, but we'll do hotkeys later. Right now, this is what matters. See, it's loop. If you actually want this to loop in the song and not just for practice.
Just extend it?
So pull, when you have to look at what the mouse does. See, that means pull. When you get up to the top corner, it's a loop. There it is again and again and again. So if you're like, my song is literally just this like 5 times, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll just loop that, right? So now maybe let's do a second instrument. Ready? Let's not record, enable that. Let's go down to instrument 2 and let's add an instrument, right? Now let's add another synthesizer and we'll just use like this one called the ESM. You'll learn the different ones. Mono. This one's kind of uglier, but you know, it doesn't always matter how they look. And you won't know what all this stuff does, but you can fuck with it.
And close it, and then when you get home, say, I don't know what I did, but can you explain it to me?
Okay, so if we want to add another layer, and we have, remember this is looped. If I want to just, I'm like, well, I wanted to do this twice, but I want a new thing to come in here.
Some drums.
Just, I'll just boom, 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 start here, record, enable. I have my 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's actually going to start here, right? Watch that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you start recording there.
How did you open up that window to make it do that weird thing?
What thing?
How'd you make it do that noise, like that sound?
So that was here.
I need a recap.
So when I'm ready to go to this instrument here, I want my second layer of the song. I go down to my second instrument that I've created by using the plus. Remember?
Yes.
And now I have an empty strip here. I add an instrument to that channel, channel 2. Now gets an instrument. I pick one. Maybe we do want to pick a drum.
Well, what did you pick the first time?
I picked synthesizer ES1 or ESM. It's just one of the synthesizers.
And that's what it sounded like, or did it sound like that after you did the?
What I did was so I was ready for a second. Let's do it again. Keyboard 1 made a loop. Go down to instrument 2. Here's the channel strip because I clicked this open. Instrument. Synthesizer. ESM for mono. That's just the name of that instrument. I click on it, and then I just start. It opens the little. Remember when you click? Now that's how you open the actual instrument settings. Now I just started screwing with stuff. I didn't even notice what I changed.
Okay. I was just
Now, if you don't want to have to make it, that's like making a sound from scratch, right? Like that's placing a.
My uncreative touch.
Right. So here's let's do it again. Instrument 2. Add an instrument. Maybe let's do a bass. Never mind. Right? There's a bass. It's not going to work because I actually don't have that downloaded. So if I want to change it, I can turn it on or off. I can go back to the up and down and give it a new one, right? Go back to the settings. Let's go back to a synthesizer. Some of these have presets in them. If you go up here, right? or you can screw with it yourself. But if you're like, I don't want to build a sound from scratch every dang time, right?
Yeah.
I just want to sound good. That's what this setting is for. So when I open this so like this is called the inspector, right? The inspector shows you what's going on with each channel you're clicked on, right? Now let's go to instrument 2, and it's like, I don't feel like building it from scratch with this. And then like, you can add, I could add a couple effects down here in the effects, remember? Remember, under the instrument? And then like a reverb and a, distortion or something.
Yeah.
Under effects. And you can just keep making the chain of effects. Make sense? If you want a preset, which you will, you make sure you clicked on the one you want, right? You open the library. And what this does is it gives you a library which Logic will have a bunch of them ready for you. And you can say, I want a drum, but I want the drum to just kind of be ready for me. You go, you find what you want. Okay, electronic drum kit. Here's a bunch of pre-made electronic drum kits. Watch what happens when you click it. Let's say I want one called Amped Up. I click it. It just built it for me. See?
Like, it built it for you. If, let's say, if that window popped up with all of the settings, that's what it did, technically?
Watch, yeah. Let's open our inspector, right? We clicked on this. We open our library, and you can just pick one. And whenever you pick one, what it's actually doing in the background, open our inspector again, this window, it's adding an instrument and adding effects for us.
I see.
Presets. See how they're changing?
Yeah. But essentially, it's just building it in that.
Yeah, it's doing the same thing.
Okay.
It's just
Am
presets
I asking
though.
too many questions?
No.
Okay.
See, instrument effects, and some of them start off. You can turn them on by hitting a little
okay.
power button on
Yeah.
them. So green is instruments, blue is effects. So now we've got a drum. So what you can do is just cycle through these. I don't like that one. Right? So now it's called Big Bang. Sometimes the presets are going to make this little folder thing. Just don't worry about it. Just It's just you know what I mean? Don't even open the folder till later down the road when we get to that. So it's record enabled here. So we're going to pull it back to the beginning. Let's record. We have our 1, 2, 3, 4 on. You can hit R for record, or you can, if you're like, I need a second before it starts, you can pull this back to here.
Oh, okay.
And then maybe just get yourself ready, right? You just kind of watch it. You're like, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? All I did was one measure there.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to cut this off right where I see where this is looping. Cut. Now I'll loop that. And then I'll put it all back to 0. So it starts at the beginning. I just moved it back so I could give myself time. And it's like, okay, well, my drums are a little bit off, right? Like, they're not perfect, whereas, remember, we quantized the keys? Let's quantize the drums. Let's double-click, and it opens this menu again. Remember the pencil? These open your side menus. This opens your bottom menus. This opens your right-hand menus, which are more like notes, notepad, and a few other things that don't matter to you right now. So if I want to quantize, I'm going to double-click, and it's going to open the pencil, and here's all our little notes that I played. See the little mini keyboard over here. So I'm going to highlight all of them, or just the ones I want. You can move them around. Oops. If you really want to get perfect, it's like, I hit one bad note. I meant to go to that note, You can do that. But right now, I just want to quantize it. So I'm going to highlight everything and just hit Q. Did you see it happen? Now it's going to be perfectly on. Now I can turn off my metronome so I don't have to hear that, and I can just hear my song I made. Cool?
Yeah. I'll sing something.
Let's add one more layer, and then you can sing. So now we can close our little editor window on the bottom. And for the next, so we have both our inspector open and our presets open. Now, when you open your inspector, it shows the one you're clicked on, right? So the one on the left is the channel you clicked on. This little channel that always sits here is your master. So anything you do to this affects all tracks, right? So if I add a reverb, these are effects. They're going to be blue when I add one. You can't put an instrument on your master. It's just what's something I want to do to everything. And if I added a reverb right here, every track would get reverb.
Yeah, maybe we can come back to this.
So I'm just letting you know what you're going to see when you open this every time.
Oh,
it says stereo out. That means it's headed to 2 speakers on its way out. You don't really need to use that much. You can just have me do that whenever you finish a song. So just always just kind of ignore this for the most part and just use whatever's on the left, right? Until we get there eventually. See how the setting, like, see how this preset page changes whenever I'm, because it's like, oh, you're on a preset and you can go back a page if you need to. See, it's almost like a little finder window.
Yeah.
So on this one, we're not on a preset, so nothing's clicked. But if you wanted to, if you're like, okay, I liked this sound, but I want to see what this same line, because it's MIDI, and you can change the instrument anytime, which is why MIDI's sick. So let's make sure we're clicked on keyboard 1. Let's go to a preset. Well, let's see what it sounds like. I clicked on keyboards with a different keyboard. Here's a cheap organ. Don't really want that. Here's 80s wave bells. And you can always hit Command Z like any site. And now here we can change our volume a little. That's a little loud, right? Maybe I just want it to be on the right. Nah. That's stuff you can have me do if you really want.
Yeah, I can't.
But
I don't want to shove too much information in my brain because I want to be able to digest.
Yeah, is it making sense so far though?
Yeah.
Good.
So I don't want to learn anything about mastering right now.
But the volume is important. That's not mastering, but it's just like, the volume is important, right?
No, I
like this is
agree.
each volume of each thing.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a good volume. Let's leave it like this. I'm ready for another layer.
Okay.
Whatever you're clicked on, whenever you hit the plus button,
Copies it.
it goes, it just adds, now you pick what you want next. I want another MIDI instrument, software instrument, empty, create. It goes, it's just going to go to the one under whatever you were on. So that's why, you know what I mean? If I was clicked on this, it would have created it here. So I just like it to be the next one in line.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So now it opens, it's called instrument 18, doesn't really matter. We're going to call this keyboard 2. And maybe I will put it right here so it's organized, right? Keyboard, keyboard, drum, voice. So now it's an empty strip. You can choose a preset or you can just build it yourself using instrument and audio. Now, what if I had wanted, let's delete it, right? I just deleted it. Let's say like, I really like that sound, I need it again. I want the same sound. You can, instead of plus, you can hit duplicate, and now you have the exact same thing again. Because like, it's like maybe I want to do something else with that sound. I'm going to mute the drums for a second. Okay. You can mute one thing, or you can solo multiple things, and then toggle your solo on and off. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this is add a new instrument, duplicate the instrument you're clicked on, or solo some stuff. Because it's like, I only want to hear my keyboards for a sec. Now we have a duplicated instrument. It's that same thing, but I want to do something up high with it. And that's why you might duplicate. But in this case, let's not duplicate. So unsolo, let's delete this. Let's go to keyboard, and now we'll add a new instrument, empty MIDI. It's just called instrument 18. Let's call it keyboard lead. It's the lead sound. Click out of it. Now let's choose a preset over on the left. Let's make the lead a synthesizer again, and we'll choose a lead. Alloy lead. It's like, well, that's cool. Let's add, see, it when we clicked on the preset, it built a preset for us. So we didn't have to build it. But we can still add on to that preset by clicking and adding, oh, remember our recents? We used that reverb. Let's use it again. Let's make it a long one. So let's use a digital and make it really long with the decay. We can turn the dry down, so it's just the reverb. I know this isn't perfect, it's just for demonstrations. Let's do it. So back, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Can it come in on this second?
The second half?
Yeah.
Let's pull it back to here then. Cool? Let's click on it. For this case, maybe you don't want to quantize it, maybe you do. You can zoom in and out with these up here. You can make this bigger. You can zoom in and out, and then you can do the same in your little edit window here. See? So make these small, but we'll make them wide. Okay? Click them all. Quantize. Now we don't need this window anymore. Okay, maybe I didn't like that. Let's just do a different sound. Same thing. Same MIDI notes, new sound. Let's see what it did. Nope. Let's just, you can change these while you're playing too. You like that one? Let's turn it down. Let's try it again. Maybe while you're testing out different sounds, you want to loop it. Let's try a different one. That gives it a second to... Maybe I want to solo it so I can really hear it. And that's your, you'll just learn your favorite ones, you know? And once you like one, you could go down and hit save, right?
So then I can find it easy next time.
Find it easy. So let's go back in our Finder window. Here's some user presets I've saved. See? And you can build your own too. Like if you made a sound from scratch, like you can still hit save. Florp? Sure. Let's try it. Just never give up on a sound. Just because it doesn't work for one thing, it might work for your next project later doing something different. So here's our little loop. Let's turn off our loop. Stop, go back to the beginning, and let's delete this and do it again. So now add an audio track.
Oh, okay.
You're ready to sing. What are you gonna do?
Oh, I double clicked and it did that. No.
Command Z.
Yours is it went this one?
Yep.
Yeah. New audio track?
That you right clicked. You can do that, or you can just hit the plus. It's up to you.
Okay.
Plus, and then you want an audio mic.
Right.
Input 1 because we're plugged in number 1. Yep.
Okay.
And stereo's fine. Now you got audio on. You can rename it real quick to whatever you want. Enter. Yep. And then what are you going to do if you want to hear yourself? Check, check, check.
This?
That's if you only want to hear you and no music. The I turns on direct feedback.
Okay.
That's not the right word for it, but direct monitoring, right? So if that's clicked on anything, you hear it live without it being recorded. Now, if you want to record enable, when you hit record, you want to make sure that's recording. What do you have to do?
I have to hit this.
Yep.
And then you hit this.
Yep.
Okay.
But it's like sometimes you don't want to hear yourself, then you wouldn't hit the I. Sometimes it's like I just want to hear my own actual self. I don't want to hear myself. So you might put on these headphones, and I do want to hear myself. So put on your headphones, and let's turn the speaker volume down, the headphone volume up.
Okay.
So you're record enabled, and
I
you
hold
can
the
hear
mic?
yourself. Sure.
So I have to lean over
hear yourself okay?
Yes.
Cool. And there's plenty of other settings we'll get to later that, like, if your computer gets bogged down, like it's running too much, like it's the more tracks you add, the more tired your computer's going to get, you know? So I'll teach you ways to fight against that eventually. But for now, like, if you're making something as simple as this, it shouldn't really matter.
Right.
So when you're ready, you can just hit the R button and record. And if you don't like it, you delete and start over.
Okay.
I'll show you something interesting. All right, just do a little hum thing, whatever. Ready? R.
Oh wait, hold on.
So, okay.
It's weird. It is hard with headphones on. I don't like the headphones.
Okay, so...
'Cause I'm just not used to that.
So
Oh.
take a look. I just wanted you to look over it before I did
sorry.
anything. Yeah, if you want to stop mid-recording, you just hit the space bar. And now you've recorded. I didn't like it. You have two options. You can delete it and just do it again, or you can record over it. Hey, 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 hey. Now you've got two. Now, if you're like, I don't know which, I just want to do a ton of takes and pick later, you can just keep recording over the same section, hit the arrow down. Here, I'll show you a few options. Ready? I'm recording over it again. Hey, 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 hey. Stop, enter, record again. Hey, 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 hey. Stop. Now it's like, okay, I just don't record sessions. I'm going to go get a drink of water, come back. Now I'm just going to listen through and pick the one that I like. Cool?
Yeah.
And then once you've got the one, I was like, oh, I like to take two. I'll choose that one. And then you close it, and you're good. And then you just keep that one. Hey, 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 hey. What you can do is when you're ready and you have the take you like, you can go and flatten, which means I pick that one.
Okay.
We'll get there. What's easier sometimes is just to delete it until you get the one you like. Delete, re-record, delete, re-record. Cool? So the thing is, like, you're going to have to kind of get used to headphones because if you're recording, you can do it like this. Hey, 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 hey. It's going to hear this. So you kind of need to have headphones. That's why people use headphones in the studio. So the mics.
Can I just turn off? Can I like mute the specific sound coming out from here and just record so I just hear my voice?
Say it again.
Like when I'm recording, can I turn off it coming out from the speakers and it's just recording the mic? Like the music, I guess no, because I have to listen to the music. I see.
You can do it. Mics like this, like it's like a stage microphone, right? It looks like something you would use on a stage versus one of our other ones.
Yeah.
Mics like this are made to block out, like if you point it like this, it tries to not hear anything behind it. So what you could do if you really some people do it like this. I've done it like this. You're like, I just really like using the speakers and not the headphones. You can do this. And you could go over here and just do it. Da, da, da. And it shouldn't pick up too much of that, right? And then after you've recorded, they make little effects under audio effects that can make sure it isolates your voice. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's try it. Let's test that theory right now.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll, and I'm just gonna sing something. Check, 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 check. I don't need to hear my own voice, right? So I'm gonna turn off. You definitely don't want your own voice coming back if you're gonna do it like this.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna turn off the I, enter to start at the beginning. Let's record. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Yeah! So technically you'll hear, so we'll solo this, so we only listen back to, let's see what the mic heard. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey. You can barely hear it. It's not that bad. It's so like, if you really like recording with the speakers instead of the headphones, it's doable. I'll just make sure you have a mic like this that blocks out that, it's so quiet, listen. Hey, hey, hey. It's not that bad. like especially since what I do is like, I specialize in that with what we do here is like taking out bad sounds. Because think about it, on set, what if a plane goes by and someone's talking? We specialize in that. So you're lucky you've got me with like some special plugins. So what I would do is watch this. I'll just show you so you know that it exists because I would just do this for you. So whenever you're clicked on a audio file, not a MIDI file, right? Your inspector over here, it has audio effects. It does not have this instrument. See?
Yeah.
The green, it doesn't have that. It skips that and goes straight to audio effects. Because if you're recording audio, you're the instrument. You can't put a software instrument on it. Does that make sense? So that's why it looks a little different. So now we'll add an effect called, this is an effect I have that you don't, which is why I'm going down to the third line of ones I've bought. I'm going to add isotope repair assistant. See, it shows up. Oh, I need to turn off. There. Check. I need to turn that off. I see now on this thing we just recorded called Izzy, you can make sure it says Izzy down here. This is the same as this, right? I put repair assistant under the effects. And now I'm going to put up something called denoise. It's going to take everything in the background that's not my voice out using AI. Hey, 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 hey. And this is just a preset that's not really made for this, so it's not going to do perfect.
Yeah.
Like if I were to do it really well, I would do it by hand, right?
Yeah.
But the point is, I have stuff that can fix this. So you can record like that if that's what you like. The other option, like I said, is put on headphones, and you can put whatever you want into your ear. It's like, so
Can
like.
I use my AirPods on transparency mode? Do you think?
Sure.
Or does it have to be plugged in?
Well, the only thing about AirPods is,
The latency in the.
because it's a Bluetooth headphone, it takes a second for it to send the signal. So you're gonna want to use headphones like this, plugged in. That's the tough thing.
I have to get used to it. I'm just only used to like live singing, basically.
Yeah, it's just, there are options for both, as you can
Yeah.
see. So let's test something. I just deleted that thing I recorded, right? If I'm like ready to record and I want my headphones on, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to sing, I want to hear the metronome. I'm going to make sure that's on. And it's like, I don't really need to hear the drums. I just need to hear the metronome. The drums are going to mess me up.
Yeah.
But maybe sometimes I only want to hear the drums and I don't want to hear the metronome. Just depends on the vibe. If it's an 80s song, boom, I don't need the metronome. I need the drums that I've already made. You can kind of build out. It's like, and I don't really need to hear this like little lead line we added. I'm going to mute that right now.
See, that would be easy.
Now I'm going to put on my headphones. I want to make sure I check, hear myself. You don't have to put this on the ones that are already recorded. They're just going to play. This little I is only for things that are about to record, right? So now I'm only hearing that keyboard while I'm recording purposefully. Hey, 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 hey. I stop it. Now it's like, well, when I listen back, I want to hear it with everything. I just didn't want to record with everything. I unmute each one. Now I can hear myself. It's like, oh, no, maybe I do just want to hear what I sound like with the drums only for a second. Something's clashing. You know what I mean? With my voice is clashing with one of the 5 instruments I have. Those are the things for muting and soloing that you want to mess with. Does that make sense? So let's delete that. We don't want that. It's just double checking that you want to delete.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, can't undo. It's deleted when it's deleted. Sure. Make sense?
Yeah.
So that's the simplest way to make a beat, right? And when you're done, this loop bar doubles as an export bar, right? So it's like,
Or like in to out.
yeah, in to out. So it's like, if I'm like, I only need this much of the song exported. I'll just do that, and then you hit, remember the transport or the little inspector window down here? When you're done with the song, what you can do, On this one, you see how there's this little BNC button? It's bounce, which basically means export. And that's how you export a song. You go hit OK once you have your settings, and then it tells you where, just like Premiere or something. So, but you don't, for now, like, I'll help you with exports.
Yeah.
Because there are things you can put on the effects of the master that affects everything that makes your export sound better.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
that's how you would make a beat.
Cool.
You're gonna record something?
Yeah.
Here, so let's turn off the loop.
And
You wanna hear everything?
No, I want to hear the keyboard.
You do?
I just want to hear the keyboard.
Okay. So unmute it. Boom.
But
You
mute
don't want the
that.
drums. Make sure your metronome's on. You got your 1, 2, 3, 4 on, your count in. And
But I need to put headphones on again.
you'll need to put headphones on unless you want to do it how I did it, which is fine.
I guess I can go like this.
Yeah. You know what I also own, which I can, these right here are open back headphones. See these slits? It's kind of like your AirPods. You can hear through these and you hear from them.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we could get you a pair of these. Like, check this out. Ready? Put these on. Now put these on.
Yeah, these are better.
It's basically just headphones with an open window to the real world too.
That's what I need.
But they still contain the sounds coming into your ears, but they don't contain the real world. So
Yeah.
we could just have you use these.
Okay.
I think these might be broken.
Oh.
I don't know. They're not really broken. I gotta check. We have a few pairs of these though. So maybe that's your answer to doing this. They make it just for stuff like that.
You guys make me nervous.
What? Nah. So you just want to hear the keyboard,
Yeah, I need to hear my note.
but you want to hear the metronome so you're on time. And now what do you need to do to your track to get it ready to record? First you want to click on it. Make sure you're on it. Record.
What does the I mean again?
It means input monitoring. It's you can hear what you're about to record.
Yes.
Even though it hasn't been recorded yet, it still will play. Does that make sense?
I see.
You
Yeah.
don't have to click it on for this because there's already something there.
Okay. I need to hear it.
Yeah, you can do that and test it.
I feel the breeze in my hair.
You got it?
I don't
Stop
know.
it, hit enter.
Can I like?
Or yeah, pull yourself
I
back
need
to
to
zero.
like listen to the note. In like, I sound like an idiot. I feel like I need to hear the note in like a classic keyboard, like my chord.
Sure. So
You
in
know
that
what I
case,
mean?
you can, this is a good example. So it's like, okay, I want this to be the final sound, right? But maybe I still want to play to sing to a piano, a normal piano. I would take this track here called Keyboard 01, duplicate it. I'm going to call this Keyboard 01 dash scratch, personally. Scratch is a word that we use in like audio and sometimes video, where it's like, this is to help us create. It will not be in the final product, right? So if you're like, here's a scratch audio recording of your harmony parts. So here's what your harmony should sound like, but I'm just gonna half-ass do it. That would be scratch.
Okay.
So I just copy and pasted scratch. I'm gonna mute the original one. Oh wait, sorry. Unmute it. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna actually click on the region here. We're gonna hit Alt, which is copy in most software, right? Or Option, I think, is what it is on your Mac keyboard. Alt, and I'm gonna drag it down. Now I've got the same thing. I'm gonna
And you'll
mute the first one,
change
and I'm
the
gonna
shape.
change the instrument preset to, let's go back to our Finder window in our presets, and let's do a piano. Looks like I don't have any pianos downloaded. Oh, here's some. Is that fine? Piano. We'll have more downloaded on yours.
Okay.
I just don't download some because I don't want it to take up space if I don't use it a lot. Right? So now, see, here's our little piano, legacy piano, right? We have our preset. It built a preset here for us. Did you notice? See, when you click on it, it gives you different ones.
Yeah.
That's how you know that it's working.
Okay.
So it's got this. Now it's going to sound like this. Is that more helpful? Cool.
Because this, like, being distorted makes my brain kind of confused with what notes I want to hit.
Yeah, that's normal. I do this all the time if I'm like, there's too much going on.
Yeah.
So when we're done, so what you'll do is you record, and when you're done, you can just delete this and unmute that. Or if you're like, I might use it again in the future, mute it, and then just keep the other one open. Make sense?
Yeah.
So now,
let me just listen to it through.
Let's make sure you clicked on this, because that always helps. On the one you're gonna, we don't need an extra effect here, because that just bogs down the computer power. You can hit spacebar to just listen, or you can hit record to get started.
I'm like, must be nervous because I'm like, I can't find my note, and I usually don't have issues with that. I'm classically trained.
It's just how learning is.
Yeah, it just feels different. I don't know how to explain
This is
it.
different. This is different than just being a musician. This is being a producer. So it's gonna feel like you're back to zero, because you have to start thinking in a whole new way. It's normal. Remember, you can hit the enter to go back to the beginning too. Which, if you have a longer song, that will really help.
Yeah. I need to pause from the video so I don't feel so nervous.
Babe, it's okay. We can cut it out. I don't want to have to hit stop on everything. This is just for practice. We're not going to save it. If we save it, then you're not going to feel tempted. I want you to start from scratch every time so you get more practice opening it and starting.
Okay. Oh, wait, enter I can do. In my hair.
Yeah, go for it. Just try it. Because I want to show you a couple things after it still.
Or not, 'cause I don't know.
Yeah, just try it.
Okay, so what should I? Oh, record.
You're all ready to go right now.
Okay.
It's going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4 currently.
Okay.
Is that enough?
I'm standing in the window. I'm flat. I feel the wind in my hair. That was bad, but that's fine.
It's all good. So I'll show you a couple things that will help with some things. So this, it just looks like there's nothing on it, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of weird? I'm going to record something louder. Hey, hey, hey.
Just because I was singing too quiet?
No, not necessarily. So there's something called gain,
Oh,
and that's the volume that you're recording. What we need to do is just turn you up. So, because you want to see the waveform about that size. You just want to test, 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 and usually you can see right here, okay, that's about good. I want it to be about at -6. So there's volume. Whenever you're on your track, there's the volume of your overall track, right? But it's like Command Z. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Shift Command Z. It's like, what if you recorded loud on one take back here in the chorus and you recorded soft over here?
Yeah.
And you want to kind of fix that. The best thing to do is to get it right with the gain knob, the physical gain knob. But if you didn't do that, whenever you click on a region, right, the little inspector, the inspector changes with the track, right? But regions, which are the actual recorded elements like this, the little pieces, the puzzle pieces, the Tetris pieces, those have their own settings too. So if you're like, let's just pretend this was like a singing line. It's like, I really need this to be that volume.
Yeah.
Because changing this doesn't change, you know what I'm saying? It turns everything up or everything down, but this is still going to be louder than that. What do? You click on, so we're clicked on Izzy, the track, right? The track, the track. Now you click on the region you want, right? I want this one. you can go up here and actually click on region, and here's a few little settings for that region. I'm going to turn the gain up. Oh, there's my waveform. It was just quiet. You don't always want to do that, and there's more complicated audio reasons for that, because if you record it quiet and you try to force it up, it's not gonna sound amazing. But if you just do it a little bit, it can work.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? But now these look better together. And now when I turn this up and down, it makes more sense for everything. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So as long as you just record with good technique, on the little interface, we'll have it home for you. You'll have these little buttons, and I'll say, whenever you're singing, you just want to do a practice take, kind of check, check, check. La, 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 la. Make sure your level is about where it's supposed to be. But for the most part, like, I just set it where I know it's supposed to be, and I leave it all the time.
Yeah.
Like, right? You just learn, like, oh, I'm kind of a loud singer, so I'll turn it down a little. And then every time you sing, the setting should be about right. Does that make sense? So regions versus regions versus tracks are different things, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So let's put this back. Maybe we didn't want it like that. Let's turn it back down. We can turn this one down to match. Cool. Now they match. That's how you can get your different, even if they're on the same track, you can get your different vocal takes to be the same volume. So once you've recorded your take, right? Let's turn it
flat. I knew it. I could feel it. I'm like, this does not feel right.
You want to do it again?
I don't know. I feel like I need to like find the notes on a keyboard before I just. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So what you could do is, let's delete it. Let's go back to the keyboard. Just clicking on it allows you to play it. You could right? You could just mess around, then go back to this, which turns off the keyboard. Now it's time to record again. Cool?
Yeah.
So let's do it again. Let's find it. Let's go. I'm standing in the window. Is that what you meant to do?
Yeah, but I wanted it to be higher, like how you played it. How you just played it.
Okay. Is that?
Wait, do it again.
Okay, let's play with it. Got it?
Okay, yeah.
Let's just do a quick recording then. So let's turn our speaker down. Headphones are up. Let's check our settings. You're only going to hear the keyboard. We're going to click on you. You're record enabled, and you can hear yourself. Cool?
Okay.
Ready? And record.
I'm standing in the window. I feel the breeze in my hair. La 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 la. Na 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 na. Still bad.
Just for the sake of learning. See? Our volume is a little better.
Yeah.
A little better. We could probably give it a little more, but you can see the waveform now. You don't want to be too loud, because then that breaks it and it sounds terrible.
Right.
You get it though. So let's just say, let's turn up the speaker again. Let's turn off monitoring. If you have monitoring on and the speaker's up, you can get feedback, and it's going to make it, the speaker's going to go really loud. It's really embarrassing.
What will happen?
If you have this button on,
And I hit playback.
if you hit playback and it starts to hear itself, it's going to cause that crazy sound. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
And you're going to freak out.
Okay.
I'll teach you something since you're going to use a laptop. The fastest thing you can do to fix that, if that ever happens to you, is close your laptop lid.
Okay.
Because that turns everything off.
Okay.
Then you would want to unplug your mic and then open the laptop
Yeah.
lid again. Got it?
Yeah.
There are better ways to fix it, but that is technically the fastest way to fix that with a laptop.
We don't want Mako to freak out.
No, you don't. So it used to happen to me so much when I was first learning. So let's turn that off. So you want to make sure your eye is off when you're listening back.
Okay.
Only turn it on when you're ready to record and your headphones are on. Cool? So let's unrecord enable it. Sometimes if something's record enabled and you try to play back, you won't be able to hear it. It's just like a weird thing. So just make sure R and I are all off when you're ready to listen back and do some editing. So here's your thing. Okay.
My voice just feels weak because I haven't sang at all today.
Yeah, it's okay. This is just for learning. So the first thing I noticed as an editor, so I'm going to make sure I'm clicked on Izzy. This is like the section where I'm going to teach you about effects for your voice, right? The first thing I noticed is I wish this was just a little louder, but I don't want to push this volume past 0. Yeah. See how it's -1 and 0, okay. plus, plus, plus. If you can keep this to as close to 0 as possible, that's great. This track line, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to click on the region. I'm going to go up to the, on the track.
Yeah.
I'm going to go up to region. I'm going to gain it up so we just get a little bit of power, right? Mm-hmm. And then you're going to listen. I'm standing in the window. Let's turn back on the actual song, remember? Mm-hmm. The drums and the keys. I'm standing in the window. If we hadn't have turned that gain up, it would have been too quiet. Can't really hear you, right? So click on this, turn it up a little bit. And the editing is all the stuff I can help you with, but I just want you to be able to do a little bit so you can kind of know what you're capable of. Mm-hmm. So you can the more you're like, oh, I know I can add blank to my voice later, so I'll write my part with that in mind. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Sometimes it's good to know what's possible and what's not possible later. So here's what you can do is, okay, I did my take. I click on my track. Mm-hmm. Here we go. I'm ready to add some effects to it. I could open the effects, and I can go down and add a reverb to my voice, right? So let's go back and play it. Room. Let's try, and you can mess with all this, right? Okay. Different types. Cool. You can just try out different effects. See? Mm-hmm. Ready for the next one? See the little gray opening? Yeah. Let's add another effect. Maybe I want to add auto-tune or something for the effect. Who knows? It's pitch correction. Now you choose the key you're in. I know we were in C.
How do I know I'm in C? Where would I find
You're playing
that?
all the white keys only.
Okay.
When you made your song.
That's a dumb question, but...
No, it's not. I want it to sound like, I want it to just help my pitch a little bit. I want it to sound like T-Pain. See, response. You'll learn what the different settings on your favorite plugins are. Okay. Here's T-Pain.
Does not sound like T-Pain. That one did.
Maybe you just want it to help a little bit. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can do stuff like that. Oh, I have it on chromatic. So I don't know how that happened. I needed to be on C major. There we go. Mm. That's why it sounded. That's only a little. Let's do the T-Pain effect. Now with that's just a quick effect, right? Like that's just a setting. Remember this window right here? Mm-hmm. Wait. So you click on this. Remember this window? Whenever I click on the edit, it opens the waveform bigger. Mm-hmm. There are crazy things you can do that I can do for you later after you've recorded, right? This is what all the pro songs do. You don't need to learn any of this right now. If I turn on flex and I go to pitch, I can
switch which notes I'm singing.
I can change your notes. Your voice turns into MIDI suddenly. Yeah. And I can go in and literally change your vibrato, your fine pitch. That's why pop music sounds too perfect, right? Mm-hmm. Literally every aspect of your voice I can fix. And so, but sometimes it's fun. Here, let's close that window. Sometimes it's fun to just add on the quick effect called pitch correction.
Yeah.
Sometimes that works better for the song. So that's just one thing you can do. So let's turn off pitch correction,
Okay.
right? You can turn off, or you can just delete it altogether by going to the menu, right? Little arrows, no plugin. Maybe let's add, there's so many, right? You can mess with these. There's so many effects. And you can put your effects on your voice, on the keyboard. You can put the effects on anything. Like you can do a chorus effect or tremolo. There's so many different things. You won't want to do this on your voice. You wouldn't want to do that, but I just want to show you that like how to make crazy. You know, there's lots of crazy effects in different songs. So you'll just kind of learn the ones.
It just sounded weird. This take of my voice is just not very good.
We're just learning.
I know.
It's okay. So here's just your dry voice. See, because the reverb on this channel is turned off right now. Yeah.
Let's say, so like I did this kind of bad take, but let's say I just want to like use it as reference and I sing over it. How do I do that?
You want to sing with it?
Yeah, but I don't necessarily want to keep it, but how do I do that?
So what you would do is you can either duplicate this track, right, by getting another Izzy with the same settings, Command Z, or you can add another track, mic, input 1, which is where my mic's plugged in, create. We could call this just Izzy 1. We could call this, you don't need to name them, but I really do suggest you do, Izzy 2. And now we want to record, let's say we want to record again. Let's turn off the keyboard 1, turn off the drums, and you just wanted this, like, we'll call this piano scratch, right? You just wanted, now we're going to turn the speakers down, your headphones up. We're going to click on your new one, Izzy 2. These will automatically play when you hit play because they're already recorded.
Yeah.
On your new one, you'll hit the I, and now you'll be able to sing with this track that's already there, just like the piano's already there. You could do this 100 times. You could have 20 of them that you listen to, you know?
Okay.
So you could just keep, right? You could, let's turn off 1, 2, 3, 4. You could record a track, then you could duplicate it. You could record it, record a track, duplicate, record, and then you can just layer your own voice like an instrument. Layer it or just sing along with yourself, whatever you want to use it for. You definitely don't want to have them all on though. Just have the ones you're using on with the I.
Like just have the ones I'm using for reference as for the I, or what do you mean? Or just the one I'm recording?
Just the one you're recording, I would usually put the I on.
Okay.
If you have, what the I does is it turns on the live thing. It makes your mic live.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't record it, but it makes it live and ready to, you can hear it back. If you have too many things live at once, you're gonna get feedback.
Okay, I see. Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
I know it's a little complicated at the beginning. But
well, now I want to go home and do it, but I don't have my toy at home.
I know, we'll get you the little keyboard. But, like your keyboard is going to have, like this keyboard has its own sounds. Like I could just plug this into a speaker and play sounds, but it can also be a MIDI keyboard, remember? Yeah. MIDI, what it doesn't have is like little pads for drums. But you saw, I could play the drums with the keyboard.
Yeah.
So what we'll be able to do is like, for these drums here, I'm going to solo them, I'm going to click on them, so now I can play them. Oh, I do need the speakers to be up though. The little drum pads, like the little soft drum pads on the little keyboards. Yeah. I mean, big keyboards have them too. Just this one doesn't happen to. What we'll have is like these little soft pads, and what you can do is when you click and hold a soft pad, while you're holding it, you then hit a key. Then it assigns it. Then you click this pad, hit a key. Then you can use the pads and go boom, 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 instead of having to do it like this. You can just use the pads to do it. You can do that with any sound.
Cool.
You could do it with a keyboard and put them on the pads. People don't really do that, but that'd be weird.
Yeah.
But I'm not very good at the drum stuff, but I know it's complicated, but like just doing it and just trying a few sessions, and even if they're just kind of baloney at the beginning and they suck,
Well, I figured they
just
would
delete
be.
it and try again. And then by like your 10th or 11th one, you'll be like, fuck, I'm actually like starting to understand this. And because right now it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel very musical probably. It just feels more like you're just fighting with a tech.
Yeah.
But eventually you'll hit that point where you're like, okay, I can actually come up with an idea and just actually put it down, and I'm just focusing on the musicality, not the tech. You'll hit that point. That took me a long time because I was like in high school when I was learning this stuff, middle school, high school. So I was learning music at the same time as learning this, and it was really hard to separate the two. So I found myself just like being more of an editor than a musician sometimes. So, and there's different recording techniques in the future I can show you that like take away the tech.
Okay.
And then there's some like recording techniques like that, like dance music creators and stuff, where it's just mostly technically based. It's just all the cutting and changing that it just depends on your style. So.
Okay. Thanks, babe.
Mm-hmm.
This did feel like a one-on-one lesson, though.
A 101?
Yeah. Do you not think?
If I were to do a 101, I probably would have like talked about like the whys of more things, like not just like here's what you do if you want to make this happen. I would have talked about like more about like what actually making a sound alive, like turning the I button on, like what that's actually doing, like why you need to plug in and how the connections are happening. Like I would start from scratch of the sound, a voice, all the way to a recording.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would have, because if I'm really doing a 101 for somebody and I was making a whole series, I want them to learn from the ground up, or you could easily just screw things up and not, miss something, I just hate that personally. But when you're just trying to make some beats for fun and you don't need to know all the information, what we did here was probably, that works. And because some people, like, they just want to be musicians and learn enough to record and let someone else do all the editing and stuff. But so we can kind of call it 101 how to make beats with Logic, not necessarily 101 how to use Logic Pro.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. It's like, it's hard. It's like, is it better to learn from the ground up, or is it better to just like learn enough to make something and then you find out the little details yourself?
I feel like that for me. That's
Yeah.
for my learning style.
Yeah. So what we'll do is like, if we did another session where I showed you more, I would just do more of what I just showed you rather than like go into detail of every menu and every thing. Because there's thousands of things you can click on here that like we didn't go over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if there's just no point, there's no point. I like to learn the menus like from the ground up personally. I think it's just because I know so many different software programs that are like similar to this that it's easier for me to learn what everything does from the ground up. Doesn't matter for now. It gets complicated for me if it's too casual because I start to mix up different software. Does that make sense? Like, because Cam's about to teach me Resolve, and it's like I need him to teach me like from the ground up, or I'm gonna talk to it like I'm talking to Premiere, and you can't do that. They're two different softwares. So, all right, well that's pretty much it for this recording.
Thanks.
Bye.
Sorry you had to listen to my shitty take.
No, it was good and it worked for what we're doing.